Angry guy here, and men are abandoning society and living as cheap as possible. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. If you already haven't subscribed, like the video and turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Men are abandoning society and living as cheap as possible. Women are absolutely ballistic. They are struggling. They don't know how to buy food. They don't know how to survive. They can't afford their rent.
Does anybody else literally cry in the grocery store because the prices are just too high and you literally buy 3 things because it's just so fucking high and your kids want everything? Sucks.
I mean, it's
can't
hard.
afford our rent. We can't afford our prescriptions. We can't afford
This video is absolutely spot on. Whoever did this, thank you. It's what everyone's wanting to say for so long. It really, really sucks right now. Well, the last couple years, actually, housing is so high, you know, and I mean, you have college degrees, and then it's like, oh, requirements, bachelor's degree or a master's degree when you're searching for jobs in your field. But it's like, oh, pay starts at minimum wage or 15 an hour or something. And it's like, do you realize that's not even close? Like, no one is going to be able to afford rent or basic things. I mean, or if you're lucky, you can just afford all of the basic things and your bills. And, you know, if you have kids, you know, like you have to, you know, be able to take care of them, of course. And it's like people have to choose between rent or putting food on the table. And that's terrible. I know that other countries do have this same problem, but there's a good majority that don't. And that's why people are upset. Like, it's not because we absolutely hate this country. I mean, there's some people that do right now. That's fine. I get it. But I mean, yes, there are a lot of good things about the US, but it is just really suffering right now. Like, we need to be focusing on living our life. Oh my gosh, I have like chocolate on my face. Living our lives, going out to see the beauty in the world that is here for us. You know, exercising, like going out into nature, spending time with our families. And we can't even do that. We don't have time to do that. We don't have time to take off work because we have to work so dang much. I pull doubles every week because that's the only way I'm going to be able to afford my rent, utilities, water, gas, sewage, electric, everything, you know. And like, I'm living with a great friend of mine and her boyfriend. We split it 3 ways, and even then it's a lot for us. And she has a great job. She earns her salary, you know. She is awesome.
I don't feel so bad for them. I mean, guys, this is what women wanted. They created this reality for themselves. They made their beds, and now they're going to have to live in it. You know, being a single mother, being a versus being a stay-at-home mom. They had a choice, and they're crying on social media because they can't afford life right now, and they don't seem to comprehend that it's only going to get harder as they get older. But they're telling themselves lies, and they're trying to drag young women down with them, telling young women that they can have it all. Don't listen to anyone telling you that you can't do it. You need to go and get your career and prioritize your career. These are the same women that are making videos saying that they've been thinking about pressing Control Alt Delete and leaving this reality. Like, they're sabotaging young women and taking women down that drain with them. And you know what? I don't care. It's not my business. I'm staying out of it. Really, all I care about is getting my money up, taking care of myself, investing in land, because the value of the dollar is decreasing rapidly. What they're doing is they're sucking all the value out using inflation. Like, seriously, I ordered Chinese yesterday, and I paid almost $40 for Chinese food that I would have gotten in the 90s, in the late 90s, early 2000s, for $5. to $6. So say $6, I spent 40, about $40 on, on Chinese food that would have been around 8 times cheaper in the late 90s, early 2000s. So about 20 years ago. So 8 times, you've got to be kidding me. So 20 years later, this food cost 8 times what it cost back then. 8 times? You've got to be kidding me. I'm looking at things now and realizing that I know college was an absolute mistake, but it's like I could have stacked away so much money if I had never gone to college. I was already like a whiz kid growing up. I was building websites and creating, and I made lots of money off when the internet first became popular. And then I decided that, you know what, it's too hard having to, work for myself, create my own stuff. I'm just gonna go to college and get a $50,000, make $50,000 a year starting off. This is what they told us. They told us that we would go into the workforce and get $50,000 a year minimum, just starting out 55,000. This is the crack. This is the lunacy they sold us, and you wouldn't have to work very hard. Everything would be handed to you. Guys, the boomers did us good. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. The boomers got us real good. They made it. They. They sold us a dream. Oh my God. They got us good. They got us good. They threw in the dog and the white picket fence. Oh my God. Oh God, they got us good. They got us good. Oh my goodness. Oh. Guys, I tell you, sometimes you just have to find a sense of humor in everything. You got to find a way to laugh. These women are out here, they're crying, they're miserable. They don't know how they're going to survive. They don't know how they're going to make it to tomorrow. And you know what? Again, they chose this for themselves. They said they wanted to be strong and independent, and we can see where that leads, to the streets.
How are people affording life right now?
Deja vu. I made a video damn near identical to this one a few months ago, asking the exact same question. It starts off the exact same way. It's pinned on my page if you want to go look at it. Basically, my hours were getting cut at work, and I was just asking how other people were doing it because we were having to shuffle some finances around in our household if my hours were going to get cut because I was counting on my overtime. But thanks for being concerned. All is well. But this creator goes on to talk about reactions and the pushback that another creator was getting, essentially all making the same point, that cost of living is just outpacing income so heavily, and we're just drowning. Everybody's just drowning, and not enough people are talking about it. And the comments are insane, and they were insane on my video too. About 90% of the comments were people agreeing with me, saying the exact same thing, supportive, glad that we're talking about it. About 10% of the comments, I would say, were people that it was just baffling and mind-blowing to me that they wanted to argue with me. They wanted to argue that they couldn't believe at the numbers that I was giving, that I was struggling. Why was I struggling? I wasn't telling the truth. They didn't believe that, they made less than me, and they were fine. Why am I not fine? Why am I having a hard time? Just crazy things. And what got me the most, what was so surprising to me, I never gave a whole lot of specifics in my video, but my family, luckily, we still had a lot of wiggle room. I mean, we track every single dollar. I budget things. We have to cut a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. We're not living frivolously by any means. we have to watch every purchase that we make, and, you know, track everything really cautiously. But we're still able to prioritize medical care, afford health insurance, maintain our vehicles, afford care for our pets, upkeep our home, all of those types of things that so many people have had to not prioritize. We can still contribute to things like retirement funds, emergency savings accounts, all of that. We just had to cut back on all of the fun things, really. But the people that were giving me the hardest time in my comment section were people that made less than me and had already cut all of that. They were already bare bonesing it financially and saying that they were fine. They were already barely putting food on the table. They were already working multiple jobs. They were already driving beater vehicles. And because they were doing all of those things and kind of staying afloat like this, they didn't consider themselves struggling. And so they were saying that they were fine. And what was just blowing my mind is that they couldn't see how I was saying that I was just kind of sounding the alarm, like, hey, like this doesn't seem right. We're starting to have some iffy times here, but I still have wiggle room, luckily. So if things get worse for us, I still have some avenues to go and some things to move around. They have no wiggle room. So if things would get worse, they had nowhere to go. They would be significantly at a loss because they'd already cut all of those things and I hadn't yet. But they were giving me a hard time they were saying that they were fine, but they were giving me a hard time.
Guys, these people would be homeless. That's what she means to say. These people would be homeless. They've adjusted to their lifestyle of poverty. And a lot of these women are the ones that are living off men, living off the SIP economy. What do I mean by that? They're going out to eat. They're going out to eat with men at least 3 times a week or every day. So they have dates lined up. And a lot of men don't even understand this. Think about this. The woman says that you have to take her out for a nice meal, like to a restaurant where you're going to spend like $200 or $300. So she's going to have a full course meal. And somehow in your foolish mind, you're like, well, maybe I might get lucky on the first date. Use your head, bro. If you ate all of that food, how do you think that you're going to feel after you eat all that food? She had no intention to be physically intimate with you. She knew right off the bat, whenever you're taking a woman out to one of these fancy restaurants where they're going to stuff their faces, there's no way you're going to be physically intimate. She's not going to feel up to it. Her stomach's going to be bloated. All right? She was using you all along. It was all a game. It was all a con. It's a long con, guys. She was conning you. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already have it, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Men are abandoning society and living cheap as possible. What do you guys think regarding this? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about them there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away. And cheers.